Sit Down Zumock podcast. Live and direct, full effect, Tampa, Florida. It's Florida's greatest. How are you? This is a bonus free episode. Free iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to this podcast, you're getting it for free because I want it to be free because I want it out there in the world. I want this to be a beacon of light. I want this to be the podcast of hope that anything can happen in your life. Anything can happen in your life. At any given moment, when you least expect it, it could happen. Good and bad. Good and bad. Why am I being vague? Why am I saying this? What happened, Chad? Did you find the Lord? Has the Lord forgiven you for your sins? What happened? Where's this coming from? Why are we getting bonus content when we didn't even ask for it? Well, because a situation just happened, and I felt it necessary. By the way, this literally is coming off a 2.5-hour conversation with this certain person and another 2-hour conversation with a good friend of ours named Jim Florentine. And I felt this is a necessary podcast to put out in the world. Number one, it has a lot to do with this podcast because, as you know, one of my most frequent guests back in the day was a comedian, local guy from Cleveland, Ohio, named Joe Howard. We've had some legendary episodes, unforgettable episodes. I would put our Maxwell show bashing up against any podcast in the fucking world. I mean, it was a beautiful clinic of taking a shitty radio show and giving it the beating it deserved. It was better than they ever did on Opie and Anthony with the fucking Jocktober. It's better than anything Carl did over at Who Are These Podcasts. It was a clinic of a beatdown on Paulie / Maxwell / Benjamin Borenstein. And as if you've probably listened throughout the podcast history, if you're still with me from the beginning, I had a little fallout with this gentleman. By the way, first guest ever on the Sit Down Zumock podcast. The very first guest was Joe Howard in the map room with Tyler, with Frijon Media. And we had a fallout. It happens in friendships, relationships. A lot of that fallout was fueled by booze, alcohol. You know, I'm no stranger to having problems with alcohol. And I can comfortably say about 100% of every problem I've ever had was because of alcohol. 100% of every problem. I'm reckless. I'm out of control. I mean, I can go on and on about it. I mean, I'm not doing a AA meeting here. Well, Joe was just as bad, if not worse. Joe talked about it on the pod. He had a horrific divorce situation. There was a child involved, and Joe lost his way. And much as anybody under the influence of alcohol, you tend to be hard to deal with. And it gets to the point where you can't help somebody. They got to help themselves. I'll spare you the details, but long story short, he burned the bridges. Not with just me, with a bunch of people. And he'd be the first to tell you that. I'm not speaking out of school here. I had reached out to him a few times in concern, and he kind of more or less doubled down on me a few instances. He doesn't remember. I think he was, cloudy at the time, but it did happen. And I think deep down, I was like, man, this dude used me. I thought we were friends, whatever the case may be. And you really don't know what's going on in someone's mind, what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. I know a lot of people are doubling down on me right now online, and a lot of people have passed judgment on things I have done, things I have said, and that's fine. It is what it is. It's human nature. But there's an empathy portion of life that people tend to forget about. If you're looking at someone's life like it's a reality show, like Lindsay Lohan or Britney Spears, and then you forget there's an element not even an element. There's humanity there. There's a person. And you could justify it that they're rich and famous. And I do that. When I go after LeBron James, I justify it. I'm like, this guy's a fucking billionaire athlete. What the fuck does he care what I think? So when I'm calling him a douche and everything else, and I know he's seen it. I know he knew about the jersey burning, and I know he knew about the video from back in the day because I have mutual friends in his camp that have confirmed. Anyways, long story short, you forget that these people are human. What I never understand was people coming after me because I'm not famous. I'm not rich. I drive a 2016 Honda, like paid for, by the way. But why would you come and double down on me? I never understood that. And I may have recklessly threw Joe in the camp of the Cleveland comics that were all piling on. And they were. It's a herd mentality. And that whole Cleveland comedy scene, it's just a bunch of followers. The same people that were kissing my ass when I was on the radio show and I was helping them were the same people that turned on me when I got fired from the radio show and Alan drew a line in the sand. The same people that all turned their backs on me when I was going through difficult times. And you can say, well, maybe you were hard to deal with, or maybe I just fought back. Maybe I was depressed. Maybe I was going through shit. There's so many levels and elements to life, humanity, relationships. So I'll cut to the chase. Why this is a beacon of light and hope for anybody out there that anything could happen on any given day. I had Joe Howard in my mind written off out of my life. Boom, blocked on everything. If I hear anything, I'm not looking for it. I have a mutual friend of ours who would tell me stuff just about him, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But I was like, I'm done with this dude. Fuck him. I don't want him in my life. I don't want that element. One of the reasons I moved to Florida was just kind of, I wanted to start fresh, just live my life. I was planning on moving here, but it wasn't going to be until I was like 48, 49. Had a couple goals that will never come into fruition. But long story short, Joe Howard was dead to me. Dead to me. He made a video on stage with comedian Bill Squire, John Bruton, saying he hopes I go to prison. And I unloaded on the guy. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you in my life? Why are you paying attention to what I'm doing? I haven't talked to you in 3-4 years. You're not friends with me. You don't know what I'm dealing with. You don't know what I'm going through. And you're up there with this fucking piece of shit Bill Squire, who is garbage, by the way. Absolute garbage, this guy. Doesn't stand for a fucking thing. The dude basically was stepped on my dead body going after my old radio gig. And he's been shitty ever since about it. Got me fired, banned from the House of Comedy. 4 $2,500 gigs, not including merchandise, a year. Because this fuck jumped on a pylon that had nothing to do with him, and that wasn't true. And that's a fact. That is a fact. With that girl, Chelsea, my former friend. Great graphic designer. She did the logo to this podcast, true story. And she also did the second album of mine, Adventures on Argyle. Phenomenal graphic. I hope she leans into that instead of creating internet rumors and making herself the victim. Lean into your graphic design and make some fucking money because you're good at it. You're a terrible victim because you lie. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Beacon of light, hope. Anything can happen. There was an incident, I don't want to dive into it, that happened. And I thought Joe, and he has a girlfriend that I thought they were going out of their way to fuck with me. Because there was another dude who, I was never even friends with the dude, I just knew him. I haven't spoken to him in almost a decade, who's been doubling down on me online. And it's just weird, it's sad, it's pathetic, and most of all, creepy. And I thought Joe was a part of this. And I'm like, fuck this dude, fuck him. Something happens. There's a helicopter. Sorry about that. I'm doing this right outside my condo here. Oh, cool. It's Airwolf and Jan Michael Vincent with Ernest Borgnine, Alex Cord. I could keep going, but I'm not. Get back on subject. Hope, a beacon of life. Anything can happen. I'll spare you the details. But Joe's girlfriend said he was going to call me. I said, no, fuck him. I don't want to talk to that dude. And I called him. And at first it was a lot of tension, a lot of anger. 4 years of built up frustration. And then turned into one of the nicest conversations I've ever had. Almost back to a rhythm, a chemistry that I had with this dude that I've completely forgot about. I think I wanted to forget about. A lot of honesty was said. You could tell he's in a different place. He's sober. Humility, empathy, understanding. It was good. It was a great conversation that I never expected. I swear, I never wanted to talk to this dude again. He was written out of my life, dead to me. Fucking dead for the shit he has done and stuff he has said. And it was all over in one phone call. All was forgiven. Of course, you never forget, but there was empathy there and trying to understand, an effort that wasn't there. There was no jealousy. There was no who got this, why did he get this. It was just like two old friends connecting, and it was a beautiful thing. And I don't want to sound like I'm some inspirational dude, but it was one of those things where I'm glad it happened. It was long overdue, and it makes you realize we take things for granted, all the pettiness, all the bullshit. And so, honestly, don't pass judgment on people because you don't know what they're dealing with, what they're going through. By all means, shit on LeBron James. That's something it's just too much fun to shit on this guy. But he can take it. He has a billion reasons why he shouldn't listen to me. But other people, your neighbor, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, whatever the case, you don't know what's going on. And that phone call made me really open my eyes to maybe there's some other people in my life I should reach out to. And some people I never will. It's just not going to happen. But then again, you never know, because I thought the same with Joe Howard. And I'm actually looking forward to having him on the podcast again sometime. Listen, I'm not running to jump in his arms and we're best friends again, but it was a conversation that needed to take place. And I believe all was forgiven. When that motherfucker says, I'm sorry, that's a big I'm sorry, because he's the most stubborn asshole I've ever met my entire life. I'm pretty stubborn, but that guy is stubborn. So for him to muster up, I'm sorry, you gotta listen and you gotta accept. And I apologize myself. I wanted to let you guys know, because if you're a long listener of this podcast since 2013, I believe, was it February 2013 we started this at the Map Room? Joe was the first guy on. We had a lot of adventures together. Drunken escapades, fun, but also a huge blowout. And it was a chapter in my life I wanted to erase and forget. The whole Cleveland comedy scene, the cuck scene, the Cleveland Guardian fans, all you guys, like I'm good on you guys. You know what you did. You know what I did for you. We're good. But you never know what could happen at any given moment. That phone call with Joe Howard today, it was proof anything can happen at any given moment when you're least expecting it. And you feel good afterwards. Didn't think I was going to feel good. I didn't think I was going to turn. You ever watch The Walking Dead? When they get bit, they turn into a zombie. I didn't think I was going to turn into a nice guy that felt forgiveness and felt like he missed an old friend. I didn't think that was in me anymore, but it was. It was a wall that had to crumble down right in front of me, and I'm glad it happened. I don't know if Joe will listen to this. I think he will, because he listened to every fucking podcast in the world. By the way, comedy podcasts stink. They all stink. Even if you hate mine, you should. All of them stink. Mark Norman stinks. I love Mark. He's hilarious. But that's just repetitive bullshit. Theo Vaughn's podcast stinks. Fucking Fighter and the Kid stinks. Bert's podcast fucking blows. He just talks about himself the whole time. Bert's podcast is terrible. Once you see Bert a certain way, you can't unsee it. I wish I didn't know these fucks. Tripley's entertaining as hell to me. I love Sam. Sam's very funny. Kevin's podcast stinks. That thing ran its course. What else is there? I'll listen to Rogan from time to time. When he has an interesting guest on. But for the most part, comedy podcasts stink. And by all means, hate mine. Leave a 1-star review on my iTunes. I don't give a fuck. Because I have very generous Patreon members. And thank you for signing up to the Patreon for as little as $3. But there's people signed up for $100. Vinny Cash, Lisa Stewart, Steven. I forgot your last name. Very Polish. If you want to sponsor the podcast, sign up for $100. I will push your agenda, your product, your run for governor, whatever the case may be. Go to chad-zumock on Patreon and sign up for as little as $3. I do a podcast with Tony Mazer every single Monday behind the paywall. Why is it behind the paywall? Because we will get banned and demonetized from YouTube if we put it out for free. Because we speak freely, and it's so refreshing in this day and age to speak freely and honesty. We could just say what we want. We don't fall with the herds in our pronouns, he, him, they. Get your vaccine. Fucking, what are we supposed to say at this Cleveland Guardians, Washington football team? We're so empathetic. Oh my goodness. I'm a victim. Oh my God. Look at me, I'm a victim. So anyways, we do that every Monday. Check it out if you get the chance. And I appreciate all the nice messages. I know there's the haters, the trolls out there. You're wasting your time. It's seriously, you're wasting your fucking lives trolling me. It's zero effect, zero on my life. But good on you. It's good to know that you guys just get fucking blazed out of your mind and you focus 100% of your energy onto me. Just some dude in Tampa. Just a guy with a Honda, paid off 2016, 2-bedroom apartment. Just a dude where you're putting all your energy. Good for you. Good on you. Again, hope. Reach out to that person in your life you're having a problem with. Squash it. It works. It happened. It happened today, and it was a good feeling, and you feel good. And I got a full day in front of me, and I went from having a terrible, terrible day yesterday to having this wonderful day ahead of me. 75 degrees, beautiful outside. I'm outside doing the podcast because it's fucking nice, and I feel good. I feel happy. I'm happy. Like that dumb Pharrell song, Happy. How much money did that fucking guy make off that piece of shit song? 'Cause I'm happy. Ugh. Anyways, listen, this is where we at here. Yeah, 20-minute free podcast. What else you want? It's like the Poly MF20. 20 minutes. Boom. If this is Poly MF20, I'd be teasing upcoming topics. Later on in the program, we're going to be talking about Norm McDonald's passing. Here's a shitty impression. I do. I start doing impressions for no reason. My voice changes for no reason. And I make up words. Chicky chick, volume check 1, boarding. I just did that for Joe. Anyways, guys, listen, have a great day. Honestly, you never know what's going to happen at any given moment of your life. I found that today, and it was a beautiful thing. And I'm excited for the journey ahead because you don't know. You don't know. Next thing you know, I'm going to be hanging out with Patton Oswalt, living it up. Maybe I'll reach out to Patton Oswalt, and we will fucking do a photo op. I'll go to his at-home movie theater in his mansion. You remember when he was yelling at everyone to stay home? And he's telling everyone that was unvaccinated to stay home. It's not so bad. It's not bad staying at home, not affecting others. Multi-millionaire living in the Hollywood Hills with Pixar residuals, network TV money coming in so he could order Grubhub every day, that fat fuck. I won't do shows unless you're vaccinated to get in. I don't think we're making up, actually, me and Pat Hollis. The more I think about it, fuck that dude. Fuck that dude. By the way, the best thing that happened to Bob Saget and Jeff Ross and Patton Oswalt is Bob Saget dying. Because it took off all that heat when he was trying to throw Dave Chappelle under the bus. And everyone forgot about the Jeff Ross shit with that girl. So they all leaned into Bob Saget, the wonderful friend. Oh my God, here's a tribute. I just spoke to him the other day. He was a comics comic. Send this press release to CNN immediately so I can get on the air. This is my new brand. Empathy for Bob Saget. I won't use his death to further my career. I won't use his death as a PR stunt. I'm going to use his death because I had some shit on me and people will forget and people are stupid. That's what happened. Anyways, this is supposed to be a beacon of light, hope. To quote the great Brody Stevens, positive energy. You got it. Shout out Brody Stevens. All right, guys. Have a great week. 1-star review on the iTunes. And please sign up to the Patreon. $3. That's it. 12 quarters in your couch cushion. Go get it right now. And if you were a drinker, that is a Bud Light at happy hour.